This pandemic's been going on for 2 years. My eyes hurt. My legs have atrophied. I'm more emotionally dissonant than ever. To top it all off, a Twitter algorithm called me a furry. I didn't think things could get any worse until complete and utter disbelief. Sometimes the impossible happens. You find that other sock. One of your M&Ms has a conjoined twin. People have mature conversations on the internet. And sometimes Game Freak releases a great Pokémon game after 10 years. Pokémon Legends Arceus. I'm not lying to you when I say I am genuinely flabbergasted that this game exists currently in the world right now. In my Switch, I have it. I've pretty much always been a Pokemon fan, from the baby days to the Jada days. It's been a cornerstone of my life. I had friends growing up who gave up the series because they'd rather play manly games, but I could never bring myself to pick up a razor, so to speak. Pokemon was like this incredible utopian fantasy I wanted so desperately to be a part of. There's no way I could throw that away, and because of that, the series has had a constant influence on so many aspects of my life, from the way I draw to my stance on healthcare and other things. However, it's been a long time since actually playing through a Pokemon game has made me feel genuinely happy. That was way back in 2012 with White 2. 2012 was 10 years ago? I don't know, ever since X and Y came out, I've always found myself falling into the same pattern. I would be really excited before the game was released, talking with my friends about what version and starter we were going to pick, and for the first few hours of playing, I'd get this rush of nostalgia and hope for what I was about to experience, before ultimately being let down. Because to me, Black and White and the sequels were just incredible. Like, the whole game was like, with the big city, the underwater tunnel. You think a town's theme song was pretty good, but then you walk up to the Music Man and you'd make it into a jam. You had Zekrom going like, the story had deeper characters with actually interesting motives, and there were fun little side stories and junk, like Victini in the Lighthouse, like, whoa. And Meloetta singing like, oh. It was great. But then they dropped version from the titles, and everything went to shit. Say what you will about Generations 6 to 8, I didn't love any of these games. They weren't awful, and I did find something to enjoy in each of them, but for me, none of them ever reached the highs of Gen 5 or earlier. And at some point, I just stopped playing all of them for months before coming back to finish the story because I wasn't having fun.
If it's not fun, why bother?
It felt more like I was just forcing myself to play because I couldn't stop looking for that old spark. If it ever did show up, it was never for long enough to make trudging through everything else feel completely worth it. So for the past decade, I've pretty much been gaslighting myself into thinking the next entry in the series was going to make me like it again. But I would always hear things I made doing even that hard. I read interviews from the developers about how they were trying to make the games easier and with less content because young people are always on their smartphones or something, which is insane and, insulting. Like, I get it. Smartphones have taken up so much of the handheld space, and you guys have been putting out more and more mobile games that print money, but letting that ideology bleed into and affect your console titles is like replacing a big sandwich with a side of chips that are sandwich flavored. And don't even come with a pickle. I'm just tired of hoping. Maybe it's better to be apathetic instead of hungry. Maybe I never liked Pokemon and the series has been slowly sucking away my patience until I have nothing left. Maybe if I enjoyed competitive play, I'd like it. Maybe I just don't care about catching them all. Like, cool, thanks, random old man, for this supposedly important Pokemon you're just giving away. I just... Whoa. Legends Arceus is a game that shouldn't exist. After everything I've been seeing from Game Freak over the past decade, it just makes no sense that they'd make a game this cared about. Watching the trailers for it, yeah, I wasn't impressed. I think they did a bad job at explaining what you do in the game in general and at making it actually seem fun. I was very heavily considering not even getting the game because, I don't know, it looked kinda empty and like you'd just be doing the same thing over and over. And it kinda is. And you kinda do. But it's fun when you're the one doing it. Trust me. I decided to scoop a copy regardless of how I felt prior because I thought at the very least I could stream the game on my Twitch channel and make a video about how disappointed I was, for content. But I never would have expected this. They actually made a game that plays like a good game. The opening has these Pokemon Mystery Dungeon vibes, which I really appreciate. God says, "Give me your phone," and then banishes you to the distant past. They probably saw something on there. Then you wake up on a beach having fallen from the sky and have to figure out where to go and what to do in this new world where everyone thinks you're weird. Yeah, it's totally an isekai, but I'm a sucker for that in video games, so hand me some nips. There are just tons of little details that really push this game above what I expected. The whole sequence with people whispering about you while you're walking through Jubilife in real time was just, so good. I love when the gossip is about me. Your shoes come off in your house when you step up into the living area. You can move around during the battles, which is pointless, but amazing. I love how the game really respects your time too. Minus the excessive dialogue. The UI and things like leveling up, catching and naming Pokemon, and collecting berries and junk, it's all so much snappier than ever before. You could be catching a guy, grabbing some berries, catching another guy, running for your life all at once. It's like they made a game for chronic multitaskers, and it's good. The older games had pretty much made me numb to all the time you'd have to waste just playing. You encounter a Pokemon. Then if you beat it or catch it, you gotta wait for the game to explain everything that just happened. If you level up, you gotta watch that. Maybe learn a new move. Oh, gotta get rid of one. It's charming and satisfying to an extent, but after all these years, it all just feels like that scene in High School Musical 2 where they're all waiting for the final bell of the school year to ring, but there's no quirky rhythm. Everyone makes it with pencils and junk, and you're not getting out of school at all. With Legends Arceus, it's just like, bop, you're done. My head feels so much lighter. A lot of it just flows really nicely, which works into the more action-oriented gameplay, like, you're dodging guys, sneaking on guys, getting lit with the guys. You can really play however you want, and it's brilliant. There's so much stuff to do. Even the battles, which historically have caused me to dissociate, are engaging now because of the new speed system. I actually have to plan ahead and think things through. I forgot I had toes after all this time, and now I get to be on them. And it's great. Now it's time to give a shout out to the audio. It's really great. Immersive. Now, the game isn't perfect by any means. While I personally like how it looks, I can't deny the crust and outright jankiness of a lot of it. It's clear that we got another case of the crunch on our hands, and it's really unfortunate to see because had Game Freak been given as much time to work on their projects as other studios, I'm sure they could be making games up there in quality with the big boys. Above all, my favorite part of this game is how good of a job it does at pulling you into the Pokemon world. Ever since I developed Object Permanence, I've been in love with the idea of experiencing life like they do in the anime. Just being out there in the world on a journey with friends, meeting new ones, enjoying your time together, stopping here and there for a good-ass meal. Arceus really feels like a solid step towards creating that essence which made me love the series so much in the first place. The feeling of this living, breathing, wonderful world that you get to be a part of, where everyone gets to go out and follow their dreams at their own pace, with the chance to discover something remarkable around every corner. God, I miss feeling like that. And not just in video games, in life too. I graduated from college in May of 2020, and for the past 2 years, I haven't been able to shake this awful feeling of, is this it? You get out of school and you just do work? I haven't felt excited about what lies around every corner. I feel worried about making mistakes and unsure of what my dreams even are. So when the video games I grew up with that always filled my heart with wonder and my head with ideas stopped doing that for me, I don't know, it hit really hard. I spent the last couple of months trying to write a script about how I've been feeling about Pokemon, but no matter how hard I tried to spin things, it kept on turning out negative and I wasn't having any fun. It sucked. But Legends Arceus, imperfections and all, gives me some hope for Pokemon. It really seems like they're trying new things again and reimagining what Pokemon can be. As corny as it sounds, it kinda did the impossible for me. I'm excited about Pokemon again. Still a little lost in life, but you hear that, world? I'm excited for Pokemon! I hope Game Freak takes as much time as they need to really analyze what works here and what doesn't. You know, really take it all in, all the details, pour over the feedback, let it ferment for as long as possible, so when the next games eventually come out, they can... What the fuck?